All right, let's see if I can do two things at once. And thank you, everybody, and welcome to the Armory Park Historic Zone Advisory Board meeting of December 21st,
Happy solstice.
2022. And happy solstice, everybody. Calling the meeting to order and a roll call. Maurice.
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Pat.
Aye.
Helen.
Here.
Sarah.
Here.
Good. Me. I'm here too. Anybody else show up since?
Robin.
Oh, Robin. All right. Jen, good. And Robin, you here?
I am here.
Thank you so very much for being here. I'd like to seek a movement to approve the minutes of both November 18th and the 22nd.
So
The
moved.
15th. Sorry, can you correct that? It's the 15th and the 22nd.
November 15th and 22nd.
Yes, there's one comment I want to make.
Okay, Robin did so moved. And
You need a second, and then you can have discussion.
I'll second that.
okay, Sarah seconded. Thank you. Okay, ready for your comment, John?
Yes, we discussed the minor reviews for about 2 minutes during the meeting at the last meeting, and you said you'd send the addresses. I put them in. Jody removed them, saying we didn't discuss the minor reviews. So I am happy to add them into the topic down below, but this board needs to keep a record of the minor reviews so that we can use them for reference.
You did not discuss the addresses during the meeting. You at the meeting, you said, oh, we have minor reviews and
Yes,
just
solar,
like you said, you would send
solar,
it.
and roof.
So for them to be officially in the meeting, you will actually have to discuss the addresses, just so you know. That's
Okay,
why.
is it, okay, is it,
I'm happy to list them under minor reviews when we get to that topic on this agenda, so they're officially recognized.
Would
And
work.
per your request, I added minor reviews as an agenda item, so that's perfectly acceptable. Have those
Great.
addresses listed at that point.
Terrific,
super.
we'll do it that way.
It's so easy to lose track of stuff that we end up doing, so thank you very much. Call to the audience, anything official, Jen?
We have to vote on them.
Oh, damn. Really? We couldn't just skip that part? Okay. Let's, in passing the minutes, Maurice,
Aye.
John,
Comments
Yeah.
noted.
Pat,
Aye.
Helen,
Aye.
Sarah,
Aye.
and Robin,
Aye.
and me, aye. All right, so we have approved the minutes. Now, is there any official call to the audience?
We did not receive any comments.
Okay. Anybody want to let off steam? I don't see a lot of the public here, so I think we can probably pass on that for this time. Let's do a review. HPZ 22077 414 South 3rd Avenue. It's T 22SA00489/T 22M04950. Repair, replace exterior decks, stairs, and railing. Full review, non-contributing structure. Estimated time is 30 minutes, which is what my estimated time for this entire meeting is. So take it away, Trish.
Good evening, everybody. Hopefully we can wrap this up in less than 30 minutes.
Yes.
So, hi, I'm Tricia Galvin. I represent the owner of 414 South 3rd Avenue. And what we are asking to do is there are currently, it is a residential apartment building. There are currently 3 staircases with landings for people who live on the 2nd floor to access their apartments. And what we would like to do is there's basically like a roof coating is on the landings, and that is all cracked. And so what we're looking to do is basically repair the structure, the 3 staircases, by taking up the existing coating And then, oh, thank you. I was just gonna see if I could share my screen. So, taking up the existing coating, replacing probably the plywood that is underneath that coating. And then, likely replacing some of the spindles and some of these, stairs that need to be replaced. The structure of it will stay the same. The look of it at the end of the process will also stay the same. So, and so the things that'll be staying is like, you can see, here, like the main posts and everything like that, that's all structurally sound. There's no issues with that. That will all stay. But as you can see, we've had to just put in a few new spindles here and there, but would actually like to sort of replace the wood that needs to be replaced at this time. And then recoat the decks, which should last for probably, hopefully, like the next 15, 20 years. The one thing I did want to bring up, so one of the things that we've been talking to the contractor about is he is encouraging us, rather than using wood for the steps, is to use Trex. And if I'm able to share my screen, I can show you what that looks like. I'm not sure if I'm able to share my screen or not.
Jody will make it happen.
Okay.
You should be able to share your screen.
Okay.
But just in case, I'll make you a co-host.
Let me see if I can do this. Okay.
Oh.
Can you see this now?
Oh, I can. It's my view outside. What the?
Okay. Isn't this all of our views? Yes.
Yeah, wait.
Okay. So I just found this picture as I thought it was a good representation of what Trex actually looks like. It is a composite material made of sawdust and plastic. So it is very eco-friendly and using recycled materials. And it looks just like wood. And so one of the things that I wanted to bring up is, rather than using wood for the stairs, we would like to find out if we could use this product called Trex. Just as being environmentally friendly.
And probably a damn sight cheaper and last a damn sight longer.
It would last quite a bit longer. Yes, I'm not sure if it's cheaper to
Yes.
begin with, but it would certainly last quite a bit longer than regular wood. And so we wouldn't have to repair it as nearly as much.
Right.
I would also say we are committed to, once this is all done, painting it the same blue that it is there now, so that at the end of this process, everything's actually going to look the same.
Okay. Okay.
Does
We
anybody
can-
have any questions or?
I
have a quick question. How does Trex perform in our blazing heat over time? Are you aware of how it holds up versus other materials?
Yeah, my understanding is the Trexes should last 20 to 25 years,
Okay.
as opposed to wood, which will probably last 8 to 10.
Okay.
So my understanding is it will last at least twice as long. And it's our contractor who's actually encouraging us to do this.
Thank you.
I remember in the beginning, you were thinking about replacing the staircases with like steel and stuff. I take it
That became cost prohibitive. We can't afford to do that.
as it came out of your mouth, pretty much became cost prohibitive.
Yes, so,
I have no problem with that, since it's a non-contributing structure and would help. Would you be replacing, is this going to be a piecemeal thing, or would you replace all of the steps on the staircase?
if we're gonna do the Trex, we're gonna replace all the steps now, so it's very consistent.
Do you have to replace framing also?
No, the framing's fine.
Oh, okay. John,
I think Helen was first.
okay. Helen, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, this is sort of a question for Jody, I guess. If this were contributing structure, we would be talking about like for like. It's a non-contributing structure, so how does that fit, Jody?
It's kind of interesting. We have always looked different materials. It's not always like for like. when you're looking at a house. A roof is not always like for like, windows not always like for like. It's really how comfortable you are with the material. There are some communities that allow Trex on contributing structures. There's some that don't. I mean, Trex to me it's okay. It tends to be a little bit shiny because it is, as Tricia pointed out, it's sawdust and plastic kind of melded together. But also it has definitely a longer lifetime than wood does, especially out. I mean, these are flat surfaces that are just getting hit by the sun. And you know, they're not like on a sidewall or anything like that. So I would say, you know, potentially Trex could still be used on a contributing structure, depending on where it is. I would say probably not like on the sidewall or something like that, but just treads on steps. You know, their visibility is pretty low because it's not like you're looking at it face on. It's just something that's being stepped on. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Makes sense
No,
to
I
me.
think that makes sense. The other question I had actually, I'm fairly familiar with Trex because it's a big thing on the East Coast from whence I came. But I am told that out here, it tends to absorb heat so that it could be a really hot surface. Tricia, have you looked into that?
I have not. That's the first I've heard of it. And honestly, we're bringing it up because of the contractor recommendation. I think we originally were going to do wood. So I am not aware that it contributes to heat, but if anybody else has information on that, I'd like to know that.
I think obviously it doesn't affect our review per se, but it would be worth checking because if your people are frying eggs on their steps.
Hopefully not.
Pastime.
Yeah, okay, that's not relevant to our review, but anyway.
Okay, thank you. John, what you got?
Okay, is Trex dimensionally the same as I assume you're just doing the stair treads, not the risers, correct?
Yes, just stair treads.
And are they the same dimensions?
Yes,
Are you planning on painting them?
Yes.
I would think so. Yeah,
If you
because we
paint
want
the
it to
Trex,
match.
if you paint the Trex, it probably won't be shiny, but you may want to put a sanded paint on the treads so that it's non-slip.
Yeah,
What sort of plywood are you putting for replacing the deck? Is it thick enough to hold up with a coat? Is it a coat of elastomeric? The comments from city reviewers basically said, what are the products you're going to be using and will they hold up and do they meet code? So I'm just trying to fish out for a minute. Is it thick plywood with 3 coats of elastomeric on the decking and then some sort of sanding or yada, yada, yada? Because all we have is photos. We don't really have plans or anything else.
okay. I'm sorry, I actually wasn't prepared for that because I thought this was just more like the look of historic review. So the architect is actually going to walk it through for the remainder of the permit process in terms of like, you know, where all the nails go and all of that stuff. So I don't have that information.
But it's basically going to look the same, and you're essentially just doing repair and replace as necessary and making it look the same with some minor changes in materials. That's all you're requesting.
Yes,
I don't
that's
have
what I'm
any problem
requesting.
approving that then.
Okay.
Okay.
Anybody else?
But I can tell you just from my own perspective, it's got to be structurally safe. It's safe because otherwise there's no point doing it. So we'll go with whatever the architect tells us that we need for the plywood and things like that. So.
And then I have a curiosity question that's not part of this review. Why did you chip off the 75-year-old stucco on all the soft bricks, exposing them to the elements? You did that several years ago, and it's kind of an aesthetic that's going on, but I was just curious, has your insulation factor substantially gone down, and do you have moisture problems in your spalling bricks now?
Not that I'm aware of, and I wasn't involved at that point, so I can't go to the reason behind it, but I think it was aesthetics. That the stucco, my understanding, the stucco was in really poor condition.
Because we generally don't recommend that for historic structures, especially if the stucco's been on for a long time, but it's not a part of this review and it's been there for 5 years. So I was just curious.
Okay.
Pat, you got anything?
No, I think that just to repeat, it's a non-contributing structure. It looks perfectly acceptable to me.
All right. Anybody else? Is there anything else? Oh, Maurice.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Okay, I probably would go the way of Helen and look a little further into the effect of the sun as far as people walking on it, as opposed to wood, because it gets hot around here. And Jody just flashed the fact that the flex is built to last, to go over 35 degrees. So that's a good thing. Okay. But again, like I said, people are going to walk on it. So, you want your tenants to be happy. So I would definitely check, flex as opposed to wood as far as, the sun is concerned. Otherwise, I have no problem. I think this,
Okay.
it's a
What
straight
Jody
repair.
wrote from the web
it's fine.
was, I'm sorry, Maurice. Composite deck temperature can reach over 35 degrees than the surrounding air. So on a warm and blustery 80-degree Fahrenheit day, the surface temperature of Trex decking can climb to well above 115 degrees. That will certainly burn your feet.
Yeah, so I will be bringing this up to Phil and the architect. So I guess maybe I'm going to ask for, could we choose between Trex and wood? I'm not sure what you need to put in your recommendation.
Yes, this is Helen. I think we should give you the option at this point,
Right.
because otherwise you'll have to come back and discuss it again, which is kind of silly.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're painting them, then they will be the temperature of the paint surface rather than the Trex, unless Trex heats up and then peels paint, which you may have to look into just for your own information.
Yeah, and painting it could void the warranty. Well, we've given you a homework assignment, huh?
But that's good information to have. So
It's, is there anything else that you propose on this change and repairs?
no, that's all we're proposing at this point.
Okay. Which of my articulate, wonderful board people has created a motion in their head and wants to share it with the rest of us?
I'm happy to, but I have a question of Jody first.
Always with the questions. That's why we love you. Sure, John, what's up?
There are no plans as presented. It's just the discussion as presented.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
I said there are no plans as presented. There is discussion as presented. So do we approve the recommending approval of the project?
I would say you're recommending approval of the project. You probably want to clarify that you, like Helen said, that you are providing the option of the materials to be replaced with either Trex or wood.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll happy to take a stab at it then. Okay.
And we're off.
All right. In the matter of HPZ 22-077 414 South 3rd Avenue, T22SA 00489 and T22CM 04950. The board recommends approval of the repair and replacement of the wood items with either wood or Trex and decking and other materials that meet code, with the understanding that the appearance will be largely as it is and painted the same.
Do you want to put in that those are staircases we're talking about?
Yes, I can add that in. It's staircases and decking, but it also includes rails and parts.
Right. Okay.
I will second.
All right, Maurice on the second. Guys, you got any more discussion? Sarah, what do you think?
I think it sounds great as presented.
All right, if there's no more discussion, let's call the vote. Maurice,
Aye.
John,
I,
Pat,
Aye.
Helen,
Aye.
Sarah,
Aye.
Robin,
Aye.
me, I, she, he, never mind. All right, motion passes unanimously. Good luck.
Thank you, and thank you for your time this evening, and I apologize I couldn't make it last meeting, so.
It happens.
Yeah, so thank you very much. I appreciate all of your comments, especially the information about the treks. I will certainly be looking into that a bit more.
Good.
And I hope that you guys are all enjoying your holiday season.
You bet.
So, all right,
Thanks, Trish.
I will
Thank you.
go out now,
All
and
right.
you guys have a lovely rest of the meeting.
We'll just see what's happening next. Thank you.
Okay. Good night.
Good night. All right, design guideline project. You know, Tom's not here. Glenn's not here. That one's done. We're in the can on that. Talk to us about the Tucson Pima County Historical Commission separation update. Please, Jody.
We are on hold.
Okay,
We are still paused at this point.
all right.
So sorry, no update.
Okay, that sounds doable. Minor reviews. John, you want to bring in those, I haven't had any since the last meeting.
all right.
And
The
since
previous
this is my
review-
last meeting, I hopefully someone will be able to pick up on doing these. I've enjoyed doing minor reviews, get to know the neighbors, see what's happening. We started in person again.
Hallelujah.
Jan and I did reviews with Michael Taku's twin brother, who I'd never met before. No, this man was so genuinely festive and good, and it's like, oh, that's okay. We'll just include it on this one. Let them know that they can't do that again. I'm like,
Are they identical or fraternal?
yeah, I'm just kidding. It was Michael Taku, but he was in a flippin' good mood to be
Oh.
out in public and seen again.
Okay,
He was, yeah, it was great. And those are part of the reviews of the, I'd like to get that into the record of those. So if you could talk about add the addresses for me, I'd appreciate it.
yes, 801 South Third Avenue was approved for solar panels. 647 South Fourth Avenue was approved for solar panels. And 346 South Sixth Avenue was approved for replacement roofing shingles.
Yeah.
Jody, are there any anticipated ones coming up that you know of?
I do not have an answer for you.
Do you have any idea on 327 East 13th, the zoning violation, if that will be coming forward?
Oh, yeah.
I have not seen that pop in my queue.
Okay. All right.
Is that the fence issue?
Yes, the fence and gates and et cetera,
Yeah.
Remind me at 327. I'm gonna take a note. I didn't see it in my queue, but I'll try to see if anything else.
Yes,
327
327 East 13th Street. They put up a fence and gates and a whole bunch of other stuff without any review. It's non-contributing parcel. Michael Taku mentioned it at the PRS meeting at the.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen it pop up in the queue, but I'll
Okay.
see if it's not just popped in my queue that they've submitted something.
Okay.
And
Maybe
any
it's still
updates?
in intake.
Any updates on any of the zoning violations? I think there are 3 or 4 in the neighborhood. One of them is now 4 years old.
Which one is that?
Glass blocks.
Oh, I came in with glass blocks. Left over from Duffy. I get to go out with glass blocks.
No updates for you, but
Okay.
I can check with Rick Saldate.
Okay.
Okay. Call to the board. Short, sweet, lovely, whatever. Maurice, how was the Marin Council? Oh, I'm sorry. Ellen, I'll get to you next.
mayor and council was interesting. It was also a little frustrating because there was no Zoom participation. So it was basically a YouTube show, it's whatever. But, there was a lot of talk about the marijuana, cannabis issues, okay. A couple of awards were given, and it was, a lot of, mayor and council business. Some was said about the IID, and I'm not sure exactly what happened. Okay, I know the folks on the west side are pretty upset about a piece of land, a 2-acre piece of land that the city wants to transform into, and it's part of it, affordable housing, whereas the general concern there is to make it a neighborhood park. So the outcome was pretty much, well, let's just keep on doing what we're doing. So I was, that was pretty much, how the city, ended it. So that was a bit disappointing. Okay. As far as the redistricting, okay. Not really much was said as far as any changes to the current plans. Okay, obviously the city still has a vested interest in changing the current, districting of the city. Okay, why is it seems that the population changes is what is driving the whole effort. Okay. My opinion is that, they're probably going to do whatever they feel like doing, and that's, we're just being presented with the, accomplished facts. Okay, but, without much to say about it. So that is a bit disappointing, but, it's, it is what it is, I cut out after 9 o'clock. There was an effort to, go back into, open meeting as far as the cannabis changes, and that's as far as I went. This is for for this the mayor and council meeting last night. Now, to get back to a sort of different subject, okay.
But keep it short, please. Don't wear it out.
No. Okay. The last meeting that was with the Peach property revealed that Peach no longer has an ambition to do anything with the Cruzilla. So it's really a question for Jody. Okay, at this point in time, what is the city doing with the Cruzilla? Is it just a pile of stone that's going to stay there and not do anything? Or is it going back up for bidding as far as somebody wanting to do something with this? And which would obviously will require some kind of parking, okay. So which will affect whatever Peach is looking to, take over as far as, parking in the neighborhood. So as far as the city is concerned, is Peach still the leaseholder for the Cruzilla, or is it up for bid, or really not much is happening?
When the Curcio first came out, they put out a RFQ or something like that. And Pete, at the time, that was a few years ago, Peach was one of the people who responded and ended up getting selected. They were doing their due diligence, but I think there was a thing that they did not perform on, and they did not perform on. So more recently, when they were putting their plans together for the All Saints, and they kept in the Curcio, the city sent them, I believe, like a cease and desist letter because they did not perform on one of their items that they were supposed to as part of the RFP. I don't know at this point if the city will issue another one or how that's moving forward. I haven't been involved in those discussions, so I can't give you any more information than that.
Okay, but I noticed that Peach was very diligent as far as keeping the Cruzilla potential parking concerns away from the Old Saints project. So now that we know they no longer have any interest into it, I think before any kind of a parking permit be given to All Saints, it should be considered the needs of a future development for the Crucilla. It's just a point of view.
Good point. Good point. Thank you. Helen, I've kept you waiting, sorry. Oh, you're still muted. Your hand's down.
Too many buttons. Okay, so this is actually two things. First thing is, as you know, we got a grant from the Southwestern Foundation for Education and Historical Preservation to begin a study of the commission, especially in the context of the separation of the commissions and also the relationship between the advisory boards and the full commission. We had our first meeting of the people who are going forward on that, and the people involved are our very own John Burr, who has promised to take things out of his head and put them down so that the rest of us can look at the documents. We have Ken Scoville. We have Kathy Kubish, who has worked for a long time in the assessor's office at Pima County and is very Pima County knowledgeable. She also did the Chinese market study as part of the Barrio Viejo project. And we have Sarah McDonald, who is my student from the university, who is getting her degree in planning in the spring. So anyway, I just want to let you know we have people, it's alive, it's moving ahead.
Good.
Second thing, Martha, you are amazing. And I just have to say, I can't say enough positive things about your service as the president of this team. And thank you very much.
Gosh, thanks.
I will second that.
Thanks, guys.
I will go third. Martha, you're a champ.
Thank you. It's been fun. There's no doubt about it. It's been interesting. Sometimes it's been a pain in the ass, but not mostly. I've met some wonderful people, and I really have enjoyed meeting neighbors who come going, what do I do with this? And I call Jody or Michael Taku and go, what do we do with this? And they have helped negotiate and navigate many, many good things. And it's delightful to, I have not yet killed a plant that a neighbor gave me, Hispanic guy who grew up here, and he needed a roof. He just needed a new roof. It should have been easy. Of course, it's not easy. And he didn't know computers from one end to the other. And that was really, really nice. When you have an incredibly good team, of which you all are, and you will be joined by some other people. Jody, I need you to send a PDF of and I'll get it to the other people. I cannot sign into the city on Safari at all. I had to go to Chrome, and then I still was getting server connection lost. But I need to have the PDF for the 3 new people that we elected in November that will come and fill on the board. And I know that you guys are going to do well. You just let John do his thing in the corner. You let Maurice do his thing and tell him, now, Maurice, be succinct. It's easy peasy. You guys are really good. You know what you're doing, and I appreciate that. So thank you. Sarah, you got anything going?
Not currently.
Okay. Patrick?
No, not this evening.
Okay, Robin.
I just want to thank you for bringing me on and for all the work you've done. Thank you, Martha.
Thank you. Okay, John, I know you're going to have something to say.
Yeah, just a quick comment on the neighborhood meeting for the All Saints. Pretty much the neighborhood was entirely opposed to the IPP because it did metered parking. So we'll see what Peach does with the meeting minutes, which will be included in the package, which we won't see for a while. There've been a number of meetings. I was going to announce Pima County is officially on hold for the split in the commissions. The IID was approved by mayor and council yesterday, the update, but they took out the portion of the park that the neighbors want. However, a number of people were very upset, so they are going to look at open space and some other things. So there will be further updates to the IID moving forward. Let's see, Steve is the vice mayor moving forward, and they picked for redistricting, they picked Plan 2D, which is actually 5 different precincts moving around. So you can look those things up. January is somewhat busy. On the 10th is the first meeting for a whole new update on the Unified Development Code being done by the planning PDSD, which will look at improving the process, removing barriers for small scale infill, simplifying development standards. I have no idea what that means, and correcting minor errors. There is also a second meeting that's in person on the 12th. I can put that information out. Mayor and council and the Historic Commission meet on the 11th, and January 17th is our next meeting. And I assume we will figure out who's chair, who's secretary, who's all the other stuff, and welcome new people. Jody, do you have any update on board trainings for next year?
I do not.
Okay, all right. That's
Well,
about it. Again, I just want to thank Martha for everything. Good luck to you. And you only have to take off 1 year. You can come back in 2024.
Gee, I'm sorry, I'm losing the connection. Sorry, my internet's crapping out. What's going on?
I want to wish everybody a happy Christmas, happy solstice, happy New Year, and all the fun stuff, and see you next month.
Got it. Anybody, Greg B, you gotta say anything? Have any desire to speak?
I guess that before
I'm
Greg
gonna-
gets on, I just
Yeah.
wanted to tell John that they've been invited by John Bursuk in the new coding. Okay, so we may, I guess, see each other at that point.
Okay.
Cool, excellent. All right, guys, let's wrap this sucker up. We're going to adjourn at 7:08. So thank you all again. It's been an honor. It's been fun. It's been cool and groovy. I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna look a little different possibly, but I'm not going anywhere. And
Well, I just
I'm
wanna
around
say-
to help if you need.
I just want to say one thing, okay? and
Yes.
This is for everybody. Okay, for Martha, hip, hip, hooray.
Hip, hip, hooray.
Oh, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, that's a wrap. Good night.
Good night,
Hey,
Martha.
happy solstice.
Good night.
Thanks, everybody. Happy holidays.
Yep.